Today I'm joined by James Everest. James is the managing director of the Balmer Group, and they curate and manage a portfolio of residential properties across the UK, from apartments to luxury homes in premium locations. So welcome, James.
Hi, Simon. Thanks for having me.
Oh, look, thank you for joining me, James. So, James, tell us a little bit more about Balmer Group.
So Balmer Group. Yeah, we've been going for about 10 years now. We've changed the name. It used to be Balmer Building Services, Balmer Investments. Where we're growing and growing, we kind of thought Balmer Group suits where we want to go in the company. Um, yeah, we only started as a little small building firm, basically, just doing residential stuff. Always the ambition of every builder. Yeah, I want to do my own stuff. I want to build skyscrapers and stuff. And my CEO, he's quite ambitious, so he's always been the background person, getting the investment in, getting the jobs in, and I've always been the hands-on person. So, yeah, for a business, it's quite worked for us. We've just slowly built it up, and yeah, here we are now, actually building our own stuff, purchasing land, and yeah, so it's good.
Brilliant.
Mm, Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that background, James. So, um, look, I always like to find out a little bit about you. So, from what I understand, you started off on the tools.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that you're the managing director of Balmer Group. So tell us a little bit more about your story and your journey to from being on the tools to that board position that you're in now.
Cool, my story. So obviously, I used to work for myself previous to the 10 years working with Balmer.
Mm,
And I used to be a plasterer by trade,
okay.
which anyone in the building industry, I know that's a hard trade to be involved in. I don't know, I always had ambitions to maybe want something a little bit more. I always had something about me. Anyone I ever went to work for, I went to work for a couple of companies on the side when work slowed down, and I was always the go-to person. I was always a person to solve problems and stuff. So it come kind of natural for me that I want to be in the mix, and I know I'll sort it out. We'll do that. I'll come up with a problem. I'll solve the problem. And yeah, I just John Paul, my CEO, gave me the opportunity 10 years ago. I was like, look, why don't we build something? I've got the ambition to do this. So I was like, yeah, well, why not? I haven't got nothing to lose. And yeah, that was it. Sort of come over with him. Struggled at the beginning. I was still on the tools and stuff, still slogging away every day, 2 hour drive sometimes to get to work and back. And yeah, but it was always for a reason. I've always for the last, so I say, yeah, it was about 5 years in. We were still doing the same thing, but we still had that fire in us. But like, it will eventually come. It will eventually come. We'll be our own bosses. We'll be working for ourselves. We'll purchase our own land, and we did. It was just hard work and determination, basically. And we took a lot of risks along the way as well. Like
Mhm.
especially my CEO, he took a hell of a lot of risks, like financially, and yeah, it paid off for that. We wasn't scared to take them opportunities on, and yeah, here we are purchasing land for 30 to 40 houses, our next project. So yeah, it's all worked out for the best. So, and that was just with sheer grit and determination. That was so. Anyone else there that just feels scared that they want to take the jump, it's just the risk you got to take sometimes, I think. So
So I think that, what also I picked up from that, James, is having a vision as well.
yes, yeah, yeah. We always
So
always had a dream. That was
yeah,
the dream.
basically going, look, yeah, it's the grit and determination in actually doing it and working and but knowing where you're going, knowing
Yeah,
actually that's what I
yeah.
want to achieve. That's our vision
Mm.
of we want to we want to get there. So okay, great. Look, thanks for sharing that. And so I think were you with Balmer right from the beginning? So because I think Balmer set up, or was it about 2015, about 10 years
Yeah,
ago?
so it was 10 years ago. So um, I think I wasn't involved in the first year. I think that's when my boss set it up,
Yeah.
and I think he was finding his feet of what he wanted to actually do. And yeah, we had many conversations and stuff because originally I was going to start the business with him, but I had my own thing. We lived miles apart from each other,
Yeah,
and that was it. I just kind of thought things weren't kind of going the way I wanted what I was doing.
yeah,
Um, and he seemed like he's a man that when he grasps something, like we've always played sport together and stuff, and he's always the one that he ends up being the best because he's so focused on it. Which
yeah.
for me, that's of course I want to work for someone like that. So yeah, and that's it. Yeah, so I'm about 9.5 years in through the business. So yeah,
And
so
what for for you personally,
I've
James? What's been the biggest challenge that you've faced over that time? Because particularly in relation to being on the tools
yeah.
to then in the position that you are now. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you've faced?
Cool. Biggest challenge for me, I think, is actually coming off the tools.
Yeah,
Where in a in a span of 5 years from what we was doing 5 years ago to now, it is a big difference. There's a lot of stuff that you don't realise you have to do in the background, like RE your health and safety and all stuff like that, keeping it like the employees safe. Yeah, that's the most daunting part because me and like John Paul, we've basically done every single role as we work through.
yeah,
So we basically had to teach ourselves each other like, oh well, I didn't know that, and we're like, that's fine, we'll get it resolved, and which it has been hard, but at the same time, it's made us grow to who we are and why the business is like it is now,
yeah,
because we were willing to take on every single role, every challenge that come we faced. That yeah, so I'd say it was that. It was the when you step into a new role, the unknown of what that role should basically entail, what you should be doing, because you're still half foot in to the role previously, and being people that have been hands on our whole lives, it's I still turn up work sometimes now, and like, all of a sudden I'm grabbing something and I'm helping someone else. Like, oh, and you got to sort of shake your head a little bit. It's like, right, you're not doing that no more. You're trying to focus on that. Let's have a look around the job like you're supposed to be.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that rubs off on the employees a little bit because they still see us, the people at the top, that we're still willing to get our hands dirty when needs be. So yeah, but the worst challenge I think was keep stepping up into a different role that we didn't know basically. Don't be afraid to take advice from anyone. Don't always think you're the smartest because there's always someone smarter than you that can give you help and give you advice. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I think what you just sort of described there is in my experience, with the clients that I've worked with, it's really common in terms of um, because generally when we start out in a business, we do start out doing the operational sort of things, whether that is on the tools, a plasterer, whether it's being an accountant and doing the books, whether it's being a graphic designer and doing the designs. But as our business grows, the role changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's then a different challenge for us. Okay, well, how do we? What skills do we need to be able to sort of
Yeah.
set up? To move from being on the tools to being a managing director, and it starts to bring in other things about you know uh, planning and goal setting and leadership and management and all those sort of things that I don't know about you, but we don't generally get taught. We just pick
No,
up
no.
on the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that as being a challenge. And what would you say the biggest, like, so, okay, let me put it a different way. So if you had a magic wand and you could solve one challenge right now, what would that be?
Oh, magic wand, one challenge. What in my work life or in the
Yeah, in your
business?
in your in your work life, yeah.
Uh, oh, be more on it with my emails. I know I'm terrible at that. So if I could wave that wand and go, well, respond to your emails a bit quicker. But I'm getting a bit more up to date with all this Copilot AI stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
still a little bit behind with it because I'm still a bad man that likes a bit of paper writing things down and stuff. And so that would be my work, my one bit more bit more focused on the computer side. So
And
mm,
you're not alone with that. It's this
yeah,
the pace that things are changing at the moment with
yeah,
technology and AI and all those sort of things. It's it's changing at a massive pace,
mm,
and yeah, as well as doing the day job, we've got to keep up with what's
yeah.
happening
That's the yeah,
with
yeah.
all
Because
those.
a lot of time, I still like to be in and around the sites all the time. So I'm often not in the office or at home. And yeah, it's difficult with the email side. If I haven't got my laptop with me or my iPad, kind of, it's not until I get home that I can finally sit down with the Wi-Fi and respond to my emails and stuff. Well, doesn't really help when people have been waiting all day for a response from me and stuff. So it's a little bit, I need to be on it, I think, where I have a few hours a day in the middle of the day, right? Let's respond to the emails so people are not waiting. And yeah, but that's just another challenge with the business because we're still growing. It's trying to juggle everything at the moment still. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, that's understandable. Okay, and right, let's flip this round. And what's been the biggest learning that you've had since you've you know since that 10 years of and how things have changed? What's been the biggest learning that you've had?
oh, the biggest learning. I don't know. It might sound not bad saying this, but sometimes you can only rely on your. I feel like you can only rely on yourself for things sometimes. So don't always feel like everyone's on the same path as you. Um, and that's when I think there's questions about employees and stuff. You just got sometimes some employees don't have the same path as you. They've got things in life where they're doing the job for that purpose. You're doing your job for your purpose.
Yeah,
So sometimes finding the right staff that have got your path is better than just having lots of staff around you that just turning up for a pay packet basically, which most people have to do for life nowadays. So I think that's my challenge for me is just knowing what my path is, and I can't worry too much of everyone around me. I've just got to kind of focus on because Balmer did at one point. We had a big team, we had a big community with our business, and that's what we did. And then we realised we was just plateauing, we wasn't going anywhere.
okay,
Um, and then we found out there's lots of people in the business that they didn't want the same thing as us, which is understandable. It wasn't like, oh, okay, you're gone, you're fine. It was like, okay, then let's work towards pushing you and what you want to do. You want to work for yourself, that's fine. So we helped a few of our employees actually go and start their own businesses
okay, cool.
because we couldn't step them up enough because they didn't have the certain skills. And we was like, if you went out on your own, you'd maybe find them skills. You'd realise the managerial side of it. So I think that was the challenge there. Maybe just realising not everyone's on the same path as you or where you want to go for the business. So yeah, might sound a bit strange that one, but that's where I think it's been the most challenging for me through the business. So
No, I get that. It is about a business is a collection of people working as a team.
yeah,
And you think of any other team, you mentioned sport earlier. Um, and I think I don't know whether you played football, did you, or do you still play football? Or?
well, back end of the career now. So yeah,
But
no,
the most important thing in football is that the team plays as a team.
yeah, yeah,
It's not just a collection of individuals doing their own thing.
yeah,
It's everybody's working for the same vision, the same interests. By the way, there has to be a benefit in it for everyone. Everybody,
yeah. Of course, yeah,
everybody's got to see what's in it for them.
yeah,
Uh, but the thing that is above all else is that the team is successful.
yeah,
And if the team is successful, then everyone else should be successful. But yeah, the most important thing in any business, in my opinion, is that everybody works as a team.
yeah,
And it sounds as though, yeah, that one of your sort of learnings there is right. Okay, we've got to not just employ people because they're good at their job, they're good at being the trade that they do. that actually we've got to employ people that are willing to work as a team and share our vision and
Yeah,
purpose.
yeah. It's sharing the vision, which is big for us, because where we know the company grows each year, we just need to know people will want to come on that journey. Some people don't. Some people are happy with not building these big careers, and people, that's their choice. That they've got to be happy with what they're doing. So yeah, so but we're never gonna not have someone with us because they're not seeing the future we've got. Obviously, everyone's got a purpose to everything. So, but we're one of those businesses always willing to give people a chance, and then if it doesn't work out, then we will help them where they're going next onto their next journey. So yeah, because
Absolutely. No, I think that's, thank you for sharing that. I think that's a great learning, and I'm sure that resonate with a lot of people watching that and listening, watching this and listening to this. So, um, look, there's one question I always like to ask everyone that's kind enough to join me, James, on this discussion, which is, what is the best advice that you would give to an 18-year-old you? So, if you could go back and speak to yourself when you were 18, what would you say to yourself?
oh, I think at 18, well, I was talking earlier about taking risks and not being scared. I think at 18, I was that person. I didn't take the risks. There's always the easy path for me, thinking maybe I grew up one of those children that kind of I thought everything would fall into my lap and didn't have to work on anything. Yeah, and it was only till I had the vision with this business that then I finally was like, no, you need to take risks. You have to push yourself. It's like it's scary, but what else? What else? You're just going to be stuck in a job where you're not happy and you're not progressing with it. So yeah, my 18 self, just don't be scared of that risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as soon as I started taking risks, it kind of yeah paid off. So
Yeah, I think that's a great bit of advice. And if you can't take risks when you're 18, when can you take risks?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
So yeah, and great. I'd like to thank you for sharing that. Hopefully that will resonate with a lot of people as well. Well, look, James, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and sharing more about Balmer Group, but
mm,
also your journey as well. So
yeah,
thank you very much for that.
yeah. No, thank you.